Did you save up enough money to ball out on a budget? What is up, beautiful people? It's your girl Rashima here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video on my channel, Rashima Lemia. In today's quick video, I wanted to just come on and talk to you guys about a topic that I mentioned in my previous video, which I will link that previous video somewhere up here in the cards. I just wanted to come on and further the conversation on money. Do you plan on traveling short term or long term? And with that being said, are you planning on being a person who is Ballin, and you are going to be buck wild with the spending, or are you going to be more of a slow travel person who's trying to spend more like a local and have that financial longevity like myself? I'm a person who, when I go out and when I travel to places, I like to live more on the local side and, you know, just not spend all my money at once, because I like to keep my money close to me. So here are a few things that you should consider when you're thinking about if you want to travel long term or short term. How much money are you willing to spend? Are you somebody who's saved up a lot of money so that you can ball out for a short period of time? Or do you think that you would need to be a person who creates a monthly expense budget? So for me, I think of things like, how much money am I trying to spend for accommodation? How much money am I willing to spend for transportation, food, excursions, souvenirs, all of those things? Some people say, hey, I saved all this money, I'm going on this trip for a week, I'm gonna spend what I want to spend, and whatever I have left over, I have left over. So you decide which one of those people you are. The second thing that you should consider is, how will you be spending your money, or how will you be able to exchange your funds for the goods and services that you want? Are you gonna be predominantly using a credit card? If the country that you go to has the credit card interaction interface, are you going to be someone who's trying to use your home currency, or are you going to be somebody who's trying to use the local currency? And then again, if you're going to be trying to use the local currency of the place that you're going to, how will you get a hold of that currency? So if I could tell you guys a short story, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in that previous video, but on my first day here, I saw that I needed some pesos, because the places around where my accommodations are only accept pesos or credit cards. So I ended up having to walk around for like an hour and a half after eating at a restaurant just so I could find pesos. And there were banks who would exchange money. However, you had to have a bank account to get your money exchanged. So I had to speak in the very little English that I did know, and some random person ended up helping me and telling me that there was an exchange house that was closed, but I would need to take an Uber. So again, that's something else you need to consider. As part of your budget, are you going to up your phone plan so that you can have access to the internet for things like booking an Uber while you're out? That's an additional expense that you might have. I have T-Mobile, and fortunately I didn't have to pay any additional fees, but that is something that you should consider as well. So I ended up going to get money from an exchange house, and you get what you get. It's like the exchange rate changes by the day. On that day, I believe the exchange rate was 18.7 pesos per US dollar. But hey, that's what I exchanged my money for. I needed it at the moment. So yeah, you need to decide before you get here, what currency are you going to use? And if you do need to exchange for pesos, maybe it might benefit you to go to your local bank and ask them to order some of the currency that you need for where you're going. Don't take a whole lot of money, but just so you can have some in your pocket for when you go through like the foreign airport. So if somebody's carrying your bags for you, that you can tip them, or get you a taxi ride, or just get something to eat if you're just arriving. Now, I would like to share with you guys some prices of the things that I purchased. And if you see me looking down, it's because I have my receipts in front of me. And I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that I got while I was here, so you can get a better understanding of what the pricing is like. The first thing, I'll put it on the screen, put it over here. All right, so the first thing that I spent money on is a breakfast that my mom and I had when we went out to eat. We went to this place called the Waffle Boutique. It's here in MERIDA, Mexico. It's in one of their shopping malls. It's a restaurant that focuses on like breakfast brunchy cuisine. They did have some lunch options, but I would say it was more of a brunchy type feel. And this is what we got. So we ordered 2 meals. My mom and I both had a drink. We both had lemonade. Each of our lemonades was 55 pesos. My mom had a pancake breakfast that had berries and bananas, and she also had a side of eggs and a side of bacon. What I had was called a Swiss scone. It was kind of like a crepe that was like stuffed with bacon and Gouda cheese and all of that goodness. I'll leave a picture so you guys can see, but all of that costed us 558 pesos. Now, coming from the US, it seems like it was a good price. The conversion is $29.83. That seems like a great thing to pay. That seems like a great price to pay for 2 people. So we did that a few times, and it added up very quickly, and we did not notice it. But just to give you an idea of what an upscale restaurant might be, I'm not saying that it was like a 5-star restaurant, but it was a restaurant that was located in a nice part of town, in a shopping mall. That is what we spent. The next thing that we spent money on was tickets to the museum. So we went to the Mayan Museum here in Merida, Mexico, and we got to tour around for as long as we wanted to. We couldn't take any drinks or anything inside of the museum, so if you're a person you're trying to survive the Merida heat, you might want to take some refreshments with you. But I didn't see that they were selling any refreshments, but we did bring our own, and they kept it in a space for us, but they didn't charge us any additional fees. The ticket price to get into the museum for 2 people who were non-residents was 300 pesos. 300 pesos equals out to about $16 US. Now, the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys was like something like a souvenir. So we went over like restaurant prices, we went over like an excursion or an activity. Now I wanted to just tell you what I paid for some souvenirs. And I know you can get souvenirs for different prices from different places, from different people, but when my mother and I were walking through Centro, we were stopped by some people. Well, we were actually sitting, and they came up to us, and they were selling like little goodie bags or little like souvenir bags that were embroidered. And the guy was trying to, you know, negotiate prices with us. Like I said, I do know a little bit of Spanish, and we ended up getting 2 of these beautifully embroidered bags for 300 pesos. And again, like I said, that's about 16 US dollars. But do I feel like we overpaid for them? Yes, I do feel like we overpaid for them. However, I understand that he's trying to make a hustle. But somebody came up to, well, we walked past somebody not even 5 or 10 minutes later who was selling very similar bags, and she just wanted 10 pesos per bag. So that's letting you know we kind of got hustled, but I'm not mad at it. $16 for 2 beautiful bags. Let's do it. Have at it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a comment down below telling me, when you go out, how do you spend your currency? Are you swiping your credit cards? Are you spending cash? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know what other kind of content you would like to hear from me, and as I go through my journey, the types of things you might want to see. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh, did I say subscribe? Subscribe.